Hi guys, gals, company pals, all my friends and pics out there. Welcome back to another Hopes Loves Talks. So, lately we have been talking about characters and how to make and design your characters. We've talked about how to make your characters, how to start off with building their background and their personality, and how to bring your characters in at the right time. Now, today, we talk about characters and character purpose, which is a very big piece of making and designing your characters. Now, whenever you bring in a new character to your show, your movie, your fic, your story, your song, you always have to have a reason behind this character being here. Like, okay, so why is this character here? Why did they show up now? Who are they? What are they? What are they doing? What are they dreaming? These are important questions that we have to ask when we make characters, but the most important is, what does this character do to move forward the story? To move the story forward, to keep it in a progressive motion, to maybe escalate the story, to slow down the story. What is this character doing? I mean, think about it. If you're adding in a character for there to be some type of new dynamic between your main characters, you need to have this character, one, come in at the right scene. So then this can be obviously one, something that's instantly recognized by your audience. So, maybe your characters should be fighting or each other, or maybe they should actually be like super calm and, okay with each other. 2, you have to introduce them in this way that makes them seem all like themselves. Makes them seem like, one, we know what they're coming in to do. They're coming in to do this, that, and the other. We know what they're going to bring to our story with a new perspective, but we just don't feel it yet. We hear it, and we can kind of think it in the back of our heads, but the characters don't feel it necessarily, and we can't exactly see it and detect it with our eyes. It's only something we know, something we have to understand. And because this is something that we have to understand about our characters, they have to come in at the right time, at the right place. And we have to have stories for our characters who are new to, one, shine through all of their personality traits, and 2, to do their job and their purpose. For example, if you had a character, like I said before, coming to change the dynamic of the other characters in the way that they view things, they view each other, or, other past and present relationships, you want to see the character come into the story, show or song, or maybe musical, right after, right before, or right during, when these characters are having some deep emotional confession about their lives and what they think is so wrong and so messed up about, their relationships with other people. If this character is meant to help out their relationships, they're supposed to kind of quietly just stay there in the background and think gracefully, what can they do to help this person? And then you have to show in every single scene and every single plot of your episodes that this character is, trying more and more progressively to help out the other character, improve on their social skills, improve on their communication skills, improve on making eye contact with other characters, and improve on the way that they see themselves so then they can understand others better. But if a character is coming in to obviously be a disadvantage to the character about their relationship to somebody, say if it was their crush, then they're going to be in that scene where they're confessing quietly to the back with a smirk on their face instead of a nice, gentle, grin or smile. They're going to kind of be planning things. They're going to be in the background. They're going to try and appear to be really, really nice and some angel trying to help them, secretly knowing that this person is allergic to nuts or something, and that when their friend over here or their enemy, their rival over here, gives their crush a banana nut muffin, swearing it's their favorite, they're obviously going to get themselves in big trouble with the character. Or maybe not immediately, but over time, the character is going to really dislike them. Now, if we want this to fail for them, obviously, the character is going to be super patient, who they're trying to get with, understanding, and see all the attention that they're giving them to, not as falsehoods of trying to be nice to them or trying to kill them, but really somebody who's actually just really interested in who they are. And that'll be a very beneficial thing for them. So even though none of those things that they said about them were true, well, guess what? They still help. Now, if you want a villain or a rival in the story who absolutely ruins their chances, it's got to be something more dramatic. If the other character is a nice, easygoing person and is truly, truly, really understanding, they have to do things like say, I hate their favorite, maybe fandom or their favorite book. Something that's super near and dear to their heart that would absolutely, break them. And also take them as surprise and make the other character look less of themselves than who they really are. Something that would accent on that, And if this character is supposed to be working in the shadows, then have them work in the shadows. If they're supposed to be someone who's working in a light and in the present, then have them work in the light in the present. Every single scene and every single story and episode has to be presented this way for the character to do their job and to do it correctly. Because we like characters when they do their jobs and they do it correctly. And the job is not hindered by anybody else unless it's supposed to be. We love a good character who does what it's supposed to do. Bring in a new perspective that we need to see. We love a character who can be relatable, yet somehow cynical. We love a character that does what the author wants it to do because it interacts with the audience the way that the author wants it to interact with the audience. And the audience absolutely loves to either hate this character or hate to absolutely love this character. Or maybe they're just really, really in love with this character because they're a really nice overall person and they're doing their best in life. However you want the audience to feel toward this character, you have to really make the character be. We have their background. We have their personality. We know what kind of clothes they like to wear and what kind of things they like to do. Now we have to make the audience fall in love with the character as the character does what it's supposed to do for the plot. And if your character is just being put into the plot for no apparent reason, then zap that character out because it does not need to be there. And if you have a reasoning for this character to come into your plot, but it doesn't seem like it's the right time yet, delay that character's entrance. Because the worst thing that you can do is make an early entrance with a really good character and the audience ends up hating them and then ends up really liking them. Because they'll always remember that failure before they remember that this character is really, really good. Especially if it's one of the first characters that you introduce out of your main set of characters. If this is a side character who shortly becomes a main character in parts of the show, then you really want to do it right. And you really want to introduce them at the right time. Introducing someone early may not be what you always want, because if you introduce the character late, it kind of seems like they're fashionably late, and they just join the party right on time. And because they do that, well, then they love you and the character for it. They also love the character when being so them. When they make some type of really dark joke, or they, smack a character in the face because, well, what the heck, dude? She was right there, and you could have asked her, and blah, 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 blah. They love a character when they're really into making hypotheticals in their head. Make a hypothetical, and they go to a whole entire another world, and it's funny, or it's hilarious, and it's light. And another character, he's like, dude, you're overreacting. You can be the voice of the audience and reason for just 2 seconds before the character goes a little too far down the rabbit hole, is something that the audience especially likes. It brings lighthearted comedy, and it also brings a flair for your story that was maybe not there before. A character who interacts well with the audience is a character that everybody likes. And a character that everybody likes is a character that comes in at the right time and does what they need to do. And when they come in at the right time and they do what they need to do, they're a fully developed character. And fully developed characters have good backgrounds, good timings, and we know who they are already before they even step into the situation. If you know your character and if you understand your character, the audience will too. A clear-cut understanding of all of your characters without so many gray lines of misunderstandings will leave the audience rather satisfied than dissatisfied with your justice or injustice to the character. And people will always feel like you do the character justice if you treat the character like you treat all the other characters. Honestly, give every single character in your story time, understanding, reasoning, perfect timing, and nice comedical scenes along with some pretty heartwarming, hard-hitting scenes. You need something like that for the audience to really interact with your characters. And the more that they interact with them, the more that they'll find liking them. And the more that they're fond over these characters, the more that they're fond over their stories. Honestly, the whole entire point of making these stories is that the main character of the story may not be everybody's favorite. And maybe they'll be somebody's favorite too, but all they have to be is really liked or hated from the author's point of view. You're trying to get all the characters equally loved. And while one character will stand true for somebody else because they relate the most to them, another character, maybe the main character or another side character, might be that comfort character for them. Honestly, our characters need to be designed as equals for moments to be liked, loved, and hated. Even though they're a villain, that doesn't mean that they can't have their funny moments, their cute little sassy one-liners, or come in at the good time that they're supposed to. Remember, all characters are alike in a way that they need to be understood and enjoyed by the audience. They don't necessarily have to be everybody's favorite, but they need to be able to be a favorite. And anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time.